HiAnime was shut down. HiAnime was a fantastic site. We all know it was shut down. It was shut down months ago. I covered it when it was shut down. The people that ran it actually got arrested in a joint operation, including multiple law enforcement agencies, including the American government. Yeah, we haven't seen one single Epstein arrest. Oh, but they arrest these dudes from the Philippines running some anime piracy sites. Fuck you.
The world's largest anime piracy site has officially shut down, and everyone at the top has been arrested. And this is the individuals' mugshots. There's a few here that look like they're trying not to laugh, and this is allegedly what their piracy ring was accomplishing while they were still in operation.
100 plus piracy websites created, 26 plus thousand unlicensed films uploaded, $12 million from ads. Fucking based. Hold on. Let me switch my hat up. Let me switch my hat up. That's right, son. That's right. We rocking them high seas, boys. Fuck you. Not arresting a single goddamn Epstein client, but going after these dudes just working to bring us anime so we don't have to use fucking Crunchyroll, one of the most evil corporations in the anime industry.
With 100 plus piracy websites created, 26,000 plus unlicensed films uploaded, and $12 million earned from ads. And I'm just like, free my boys, what they do? Like what they do, free them. They're innocent. Now, okay, jokes aside, there is a lot of things I want to talk about to this situation I think is very, very important. And I want to talk about like the future of piracy, the future of anime piracy, but also what I think Crunchyroll...
It's not going anywhere. All you did was open the door for people to rise up and take their place. Piracy of anime, or really any content, by the way, will never end. And it will never end because we are not given a viable alternative that is actually worth our time and money. If Crunchyroll weren't a piece of shit company, yeah, I wouldn't mind giving them my money to watch anime illegally. But they are. They suck. They're terrible. They bastardize translations. They remove their discussion boards. They remove comments. They've got a very obvious political lean. Like, they do not give money to the Japanese creators in the way they claim they do. They claim they're all about preserving the Japanese art forms, but then they put money into things like High Guardian Spice, which is a completely American production. Like, yeah, if you guys weren't doing shit like that, sure, I'd support Crunchyroll, but you don't. You go out of your way to make it the most inhospitable community for anybody that wants to engage in anime. So fuck you. Yeah, I'm going to go the piracy route because you don't welcome people like me. You don't welcome the original, authentic intentions of the Japanese creators when you do your dog shit localization.
Netflix and these other big companies can learn from HiAnime. And also, the first thing I want to...
Crunchyroll does not have a monopoly. Dormant site. People keep using that fucking word. Steam has a monopoly. Crunchyroll has a monopoly. No, they fucking don't. Don't use the word if you don't know what it means. You can't fucking use it correctly. Crunchyroll is not a monopoly because there's competition amongst the market. Netflix is competition. Amazon is competition. Retro Crush is competition. It's not a fucking monopoly. Kicking it nuts with a two-banger. Yeah, those ELO people in particular. Electric Light Orchestra? I don't know what ELO could be besides Electric Light Orchestra. Anyway, thank you for the two-banger.
Talk about is that this group, obviously, they flew too close to the sun.
Oh,
everybody knew what HiAnime was. And when you know what it is, that's a problem. When you have your viewership on your site reaching into the millions upon millions of earnings with ads, on top of that, you have basically your viewership compare with Netflix and Crunchyroll, you know you're getting too big for your britches. Eventually, the hammer of justice is going to come down and someone is going to get in massive trouble. And that's exactly what happened. HiAnime just got too big for its britches and it flew too close to the sun and struck down by Zeus itself. And that is exactly what happened.
Chibi, my man. Just like I just screamed at Dormant Psych or whoever for using Monopoly incorrectly. That is not what happened in the story of Icarus. He did not get struck down by Zeus. He flew too close to the sun, and his wax wings melted. God damn it, Chibi. Anyway.
It's just only a matter of time. When your site gets too massive, too well known, this is the end result. Now, one thing, though, that I do want to note here that I think is very important is that Crunchyroll, for example, and Netflix can learn a lot from HiAnime. And what do I mean by that? Well, first off, it's very clear that there is a lot of people.
Now, before he goes into what Netflix and Crunchyroll can learn from HiAnime, because I actually agree. HiAnime, look, I've used a lot of anime piracy sites in my day. HiAnime definitely had the best UI. And a good UI will go a long way. That being said, Netflix is a garbage company for a bunch of other reasons. Not really their anime. Their anime selection, pretty good. Their localizations, more accurate than Crunchyroll's. Like, when it comes to being an anime fan, Netflix actually is not a bad way to go. Netflix is just a dog shit company for a bunch of other reasons. Yeah, I used Kiss Anime back in the day as well. I liked Kiss Anime a lot.
That are interested in anime and interested in the format that HiAnime had. For instance, their browser, the finding of genres, searching up anime, all sorts of stuff like that. It's very clear that there is a interest in anime, obviously. But like, if you're an investor and you're someone that is a company trying to make money and figure out a way to make more money, honestly, you should take a hard look at HiAnime, what they were doing correct to gain that type of viewership on your platform. Now,
more important than gaining that kind of viewership, to gain that kind of trust. Like, HiAnime was a piracy site. What do we always hear growing up on the internet? You know, sites like this are going to give your computer viruses. Sites like this gonna get you in trouble. You're gonna get arrested. You're gonna get some bad download codes. Things like that. Viewers knew that HiAnime was a piracy site, and they went there anyway. Why? There's no intrusive porno ads. There's no viruses. Like, these homies were out here giving us this anime for free. Both sub and dub, if there was a dub version. Hell, fan dubs, if you wanted to watch it dubbed and there was a fan dub version out there. For the love of the fucking game, son. Now, to be fair, there was obviously money involved as well. It wasn't just all for the love of the game. Again, they made 12 milli doing this. That being said, they were doing this effectively for the love of the fucking game. That's trust, son. That's trust.
Crunchyroll learn from HiAnime and potentially improve their services and basically make it somewhat of HiAnime to interest people? Let's be honest, no, they will not. But honestly, if they were very intelligent and would willing to take, like, for instance, like actual criticism and like a constructive criticism to be able to improve their platform, then I feel like they really should take a hard look at what HiAnime was doing to be able to improve their entire streaming service. And this goes for every service. I'm talking about HiDive, I'm talking about Netflix, Hulu, Disney, you get the point. It was very clear that HiAnime was very successful, making a lot of money, and I feel like if these platforms, instead of making subscription services and they made things with ads, they probably can make a lot of money. I'm just going to be honest. Make a free tier, just put ads on everything, and you will make money. They made 12.
Crunchyroll used to do that, by the way. I don't know if they still do. I don't think they do. Maybe they do. Hold on. Let me Google it real quick. Because I don't want to be wrong about this. Does Crunchyroll still have a free version? Yeah, okay. It ended its free version at the end of 2025. So Crunchyroll doesn't even have that anymore. Crunchyroll doesn't have their free with ads version anymore. Like, what sort of anti-consumer bullshit are you trying to pull? Why would you get rid of your free with ads version that so many people used, force them to pay when they just go to a piracy site and get, frankly, a better quality version than what you were offering for free anyway? Let alone that you want them to pay for.
$12 million, okay? Just on ads. And they're not even an official company. They have to like be in hiding, have sketchy ads and stuff. So you gotta imagine an official company with actual like really good brand deals and ad placement. They can easily make some really good money. So the point I'm making at is, or I'm trying to get at here, is that hopefully everyone that tried to get HiAnime shut down takes a hard look at this as like, we can improve ourselves by using.
And the reason they try to get it shut down, the reason they try, dude, I don't care what the reason was. That's what I'm getting at. I don't care what the reason it was. It was a waste of American resources. Really, probably a waste of all these countries' resources, because I'm sure y'all have way more shit that's a problem than a fucking anime piracy site. But let's be real. What are we struggling with in the U.S. right now? All right, I think I keep mentioning the fucking Epstein files. You can call it whataboutism. I don't give a fuck. Dude, the fact that the CIA or the FBI or whatever, I'm pretty sure it was the CIA, was involved in this takedown. The CIA was involved in this takedown means that there was financial resources and manpower that was allocated to this. I do not, even if I was against piracy, let's say I was, hypothetically, I'm not, but let's say I was, for YouTube's sake, I still wouldn't want to see this happen. Because that means that you have put more time, money, and resources into shutting down a fucking anime site than arresting goddamn pedophiles and child traffickers. Fuck you!
Their type of tactics. Now, with that being said, though, there is another little conversation that needs to be had, and that is basically what is lost with the takedown. So, obviously, when it comes to any piracy site, it's like a Hydra. You cut off one head, 3 appear in its place. It's like there's going to be sister and brother sites are going to spawn that's very similar to HiAnime. It's not the end of anime piracy. However, it is the end of HiAnime, and it is probably the end of sites that are as open as this for a good long.
Why would the CIA be involved in piracy? Because this was a joint operation amongst a bunch of global law enforcement agencies, including the U.S., which again, if it's global and it's off our borders, it'd be the CIA. Because this was effectively a problem that was affecting multiple countries.
While eventually there will be a monolith of an anime piracy site that rises to the top and eventually does get struck down by Zeus once again. But at the moment, it's very clear that this is probably going to scare a lot of people to try to keep everything hush-hush behind closed doors to not be able to get struck down like this. Now, the big thing here is a lot of these sites, they house things that are unlicensed. And this has been always my big point of view of talking about piracy in a positive way that is beneficial.
Yeah. Objectively beneficial, by the way. Lost media. There's anime that could be lost forever that were only housed on these piracy sites. And when they shut down, it's gone. I'm wondering, can you legally watch Jinga Nagaraboshi Gin anywhere? The original version from the 80s. Jinga Nagaraboshi Gin 86 streaming. All right, YouTube. You can watch Jinga Nagaraboshi Gin, which is a fucking awesome anime, by the way, on YouTube. Okay, is this from Theater Goes to Dodge with Jinga? So yeah, 2018. Great. So you can watch this anime on fucking YouTube. At some point, that could become lost media. If it's removed from YouTube and all these piracy sites are gone, it's lost. It was never given a physical release, not here in America. It was never dubbed. So it certainly wasn't given a physical release here in America or you can only watch it via fan subs on these sites. That's how I watched it. There was never even an official subtitle job for that anime that was released here in America, at least not to my knowledge. The version I watched was fan subbed. If that is taken off of YouTube, that is lost media. Piracy sites kept that shit alive. That is preservation. It's not like they were making any goddamn money from the original, like the original distributors would have been making otherwise. It's not like the distributors of Jinga Nagaraboshi Gin's pocketbooks were being hurt by that being on a piracy site. It was straight up just preservation.
obviously, sites and copyright holders, they're well within their rights taking down different sites like HiAnime because they are uploading stuff that isn't theirs. That's just the end result. You cannot upload things that are not yours and make money off of it. That is stealing, okay? Just, I'm going to be honest. Eventually, you will get arrested or in trouble for it. But the thing here is oftentimes, like, there is stuff that is uploaded onto these platforms that are completely unlicensed. For instance, no streaming service, no company outside of Japan actually has the license to certain series, and they more or less are just only translated by fan subgroups. And so there's a lot of stuff like this when it comes to manga and anime that are very old, very niche, that are on these platforms, and if a certain site is taken down, they could effectively become lost media. Completely lost that people don't know. Like, there's probably already hundreds of anime out there right now that we have no idea exist because they have become lost media. Because
Tubi is great. I've been using the fuck out of Tubi. I've been showing Sevi Archer for the first time. She's never seen it. Watch it on Tubi. Dude, it's free without ads. I've watched more Tubi thanks to us doing the watch parties and me showing Sev Archer and whatnot. I've watched more Tubi than any other streaming service besides obviously YouTube, if you count that, in the last like 6 fucking months. Tubi is awesome.
Some of these piracy sites were taken down, and the only, like, actual video upload of certain anime was on that platform. And I do fear that eventually stuff like this with, like, HiAnime, for example, is going to cause, like, lost media for some anime. Now, obviously, preservation, is pretty simple nowadays with certain means and stuff with a cat, but I will say that it will eventually happen. Things do happen. Things are lost, which is one of the big reasons why I was concerned with Bato last year when that was taken down, and a lot of people were concerned, was because obviously it was like the Great Library of Alexandria. It had a lot of manga that were just completely unlicensed, nowhere you could find outside of Japan, that were translated into different languages, and there was no loss of money because no official company was licensing it, but the site was taken down, and it caused a massive loss. So, yeah, that's the big point here, is that I feel like manga piracy sites are a game of whack-a-mole. Eventually, you're going to take these sites down, more will spawn its place, but things will be lost in the process, and that is my big concern with this. And I really wish a lot of these companies that take this stuff down, they look at it and be like, we could be better. We can try to be and replicate them and utilize their systems to be able to get more viewership, make more money. Because HiAnime proves that there is definitely a fascination for that type of service. Just watch anime with ads. I don't know why they don't do that. It's very weird. But I will leave it at that. Tell me your honest thoughts in the comments below, how you feel about this situation. You all be safe, stay healthy. Chibi out.
Excellent video. Excellent video. Drop it in the comments for you guys. Make sure you give it a like, give it a sub. Yeah, he is 1000% correct. Piracy will never go away. For every piracy site they strike down, 2 more will rise in its place. It is the Hydra. And the internet's always been like that. Before you had sites that would just stream this shit, you had torrents. By the way, torrent sites still exist for anime. You could still do it. Now, you have to do downloads. You have to be a whole lot more careful with it. It's like LimeWire back in the day. Oh, you think about to watch fucking Dragon Ball GT because for whatever reason you want to relive 1998 and don't realize Dragon Ball GT fucking sucks. Actually, I unironically like Dragon Ball GT. The point is, now you gotta download it. Oh no, like, yeah, that's kind of a problem because it could end up being a fucking virus. By the way, the antidote to that, just get y'all a physical copy. Just get y'all a physical fucking copy. But guess what? Not every anime has that. Not every anime got a physical copy. Not every anime got one in Japan, let alone it was shipped here to America. And then you have to do what they had to do with Erased. 12 episodes cost like over $100 to order and get shipped here because it was only produced in Japan, got shipped here. Erased was 12 episodes, costed over $100 fucking dollars. So torrent sites still exist. More of these piracy sites are going to exist. It's a losing battle, but more than anything else, let's be real. This is about preservation of media, and this is about just a waste of resources and manpower. Child sex trafficking rings exist out there, and they're going after fucking anime sites. Get the fuck out of here.